And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals. Those grand finales here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 129. It's been a long and intense broadcast so far, going through the round of 32, round 16, into the quarterfinals, into the top 4, into now the top 2. We have our top 2 players here of the tournament, and an unlikely pairing here. There was a lot of hype around Percival to make it through, alongside Christiana as well. At least in my mind, Christiana and Percival, they were the 2 likely players to make it here to the finals, but no. Instead, we had a Nickrat Strange semis instead, and we have a TvP, not a TvT. Let's go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Storm Surge, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. Red Protoss player himself, representing Stony Balls. It is Strange. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this, ByuN is the favorite player here. As I mentioned before, in my mind, who were the biggest threats to ByuN? Percival, Christiana, Nightmare even as well. But in the end, it was the unlikely of most opponents here. It was Strange. He pops up. He does rise amongst the rest here, and we'll see how he compares to ByuN. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. Strange coming in as the underdog. We'll see if we can pull this off. Let's go. All that I want is a series. I just want a back and forth. A game 4, a game 5 would be ideal, but the pressure is on. For now, we're just going for a Gate Cyber Expand, a standard open round of Strange, and welcome to Storm Surge. Storm Surge is one of the new TLMC maps, was around in TLMC 21 as well, so this is a resubmission for Storm Surge, was resubmitted. And one of the big features, of course, is the area in between the bases. It's quite rare to see this, but you can see this pathway in between the natural and the third base, similar to when I'm thinking of Oceanborn. Similar to, there's another like water-based map that's similar to this, except you can see siege up here outside of this entrance, and you can take advantage of this area in between the bases as well. You can try to punish this with, say, siege modes, siege tanks I should say. These bio pushes can excel on a map like Storm Surge when it comes to breaking that third expansion. Bearing in mind as well, you might have seen during our broadcast or other broadcasts of the Pixar Cup, where the area in between here, it does have like a tide, like push and pull factor when it comes to the trajectory and the direction of the water. That is not the case in this map though. That was for a modded version. That's for a different version of the map. Here for Storm Surge, it's just aesthetic. Just an aesthetic thing. There is no like tide pushing or pulling in any direction. That's exclusive to the alternate version of the map. For now though, Robo Opener, once again, we saw this against Nickrat once in that previous best of 3. We're seeing that here as well. So Hyper Greed out of Strange, going for a Robo Opener into a third expansion. We have a second gateway on the way, so Robo into a second gateway into a Nexus should be the build of choice here for Strange. It is Hyper Greedy, and we'll see if he gets away with it. Basically, we're skipping out on the Stargate for Phoenixes, we're skipping out on Blink Stalkers as well, we're skipping out on any secure way to gain map control and to threaten the opponent, and instead we're rushing into a stronger economy and rushing into Colossus, which means we're going to be quite vulnerable. Like, Strange is going to be very, very vulnerable in the interim before he can really build up into his splash damage. And we'll see if ByuN can make use of that window of time and punish. There's the Bay. And there's that fast Bay, fast Colossus. Going to be lacking when it comes to gateway support. But we should be seeing that third base soon, from my understanding. I believe in the previous build against Nickrat, I believe it was a third Nexus before Bay. But here it's Bay before Nexus. So not as greedy as we've seen before. But as greedy. As ByuN did open up, moving out with his own Raven Harass, making his way towards the main, and we'll see what he scouts. We'll see if he can spot the Bay. That'd be a big moment here for ByuN. Colossus in production before the expansion, so again, very safe play here by Strange. Yep, Raven does confirm the Bay. Nice rescout there by ByuN. You could see he did the double take. Did the double take, just in case. Say, hold on, what's going on? Why is this so fast? Why is it so fast? And again, as ByuN has scouted, and now we have the third base being taken, ByuN should be looking to punish here. Just building up his army, waiting for his upgrades. Stim is on the way, +1. By the time ByuN moves out, I believe there should be 2 Colossus at least. But again, the ground army support for Strange is going to be lacking. It will be lacking. Oh, nice catch. Sniping the Observer, keen eyes there to ByuN. Again, still gearing up, still getting ready for his move out. Oh, okay, going for the drop towards the main, causing a distraction. Does go for that distraction. Strange, he will miss the drop. Strange will miss, but he does spot the main army. ByuN pushing through the center. As we mentioned before, ByuN is hyper committed here, is hyper aggressive because he knows how greedy Strange has been. So far, there's 2 Colossus. But again, very little support for the Colossi. We've got a battery, we've got 3 sentries, we have force fields, more importantly, true. We're coming down to the force fields, drop into the main. Does force the defensive warp in. Shield battery energy is running out. Stalker's gonna be pulling, catching up both Stalkers. Gets into the mineral line, 6 probe kills. 6, 7. Yeah, 7 probes going down, critical damage. The army does step in. Base the army into tank range, and ByuN, he's going for the base. He's gonna kill the expansion. There's no saving this. Sentries go down, massive tank flow is going up, and Strange is just torn apart. Again, he was being so greedy here, delaying his own upgrades. Oh, Jesus. And mass auto starts into the mineral line. But again, he went for a delayed Twilight Council, early Rover, early Bay, and it just was not worth it. Oh no, the probes! Get out of here! Yeah, rallies into his death. Immortal goes down. Catching out another 15 probes. GG gets called critical damage, and ByuN takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. Greed out of Strange, trying to rush into a robo-based opener, trying to rush into Colossus. In the end, was punished. ByuN committed on 2 bases, raced across the map. More importantly, distracted with that drop. That singular Marine drop did distract. It traded very well in the main base of Strange. GG. GG, well played. It allowed for an opening to occur, allowed for ByuN to set up outside of the 3rd expansion, was able to set up his tanks, set up that massive concave, and Strange just couldn't engage. Could not engage. GG, well played. Without going to be loading the game number 2, and I don't expect to see Strange go Robo first again. Maybe in game 3 or game 4, but we got to ease up on that. It's one of those builds that does excel if your opponent fails the scouts, right? If ByuN didn't know about the fast Robo, if he didn't know about the fast Colossus production, then he would not have been anywhere near as aggressive there, assuming that it was going to be Blink or Charge instead. But alas, he confirmed. ByuN did confirm. Big scout there by ByuN. And now we're loading into game number 2. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sanctuary 3, we have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran player himself representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss player himself representing Stony Balls. It is Strange. We go. As we have had a lot of games here on Sanctuary tonight, it's proving to be one of the more popular maps, which makes sense. It's one of the more quote-unquote standard maps as well. Has its own quirks, but is nowhere near as extreme as some of the other maps, of course. When it comes to speed zones, slow zones, when it comes to rushes by grounds, 4-player small maps, for example, none of that shenanigans. Just settle in. We go. from here we are going to be opening up. This time Strange, he cancel? He does, okay. Does cancel the Zealots, going for his own expansion. Probe scout across the map, confirming that the Rax is back at home. Double gas this time, double gas opener. We saw this the last time that ByuN played on Sanctuary. Again, both games here, I'm still echoing what I said previously. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm surprised to see a tech-heavy start on Sanctuary when I feel like you can get away with greed. But maybe just ByuN being overly safe. Maybe, again, because greed is expected here, like he is just a little bit concerned about, say, a proxy. Yeah, speaking of, he's looking for the proxy. Standard open out of Strange, but ByuN, he's not convinced. Just making sure that it's as safe as possible before opening up. Maybe ByuN had some bad experiences in the TLMC tournament. It's possible that bad experiences. From here is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Strange. This time much more standard. Remember last game he was rushing into a Robo and rushing into a Bay. Not this time. Go. Reapers they pick in. Oof. Pick in, pulling away. One Reaper does get caught out. Hellion does get into the main. Oh no! Oh my god. Yeah, would you get one more volley? 2 probe kills. 2 probes in the main, getting a 3rd probe on the low ground. Do we get a 4th? Not quite. Strange does hold. Strange does punish that Reaper, but then it was three probes for 2 Reapers and a Hellion. I would say a better defensive for Strange, a 1-to-1 trade. Ideally, ByuN wanted a little bit more. Ideally, did want more. ByuN behind this, going for his own mine drop. Widow Mines they rally across, trying to catch any stray units before dropping. Again, cheeky moves out of ByuN. See if Strange can keep up. Oh, that's Strange. Mine drop is coming in. It does boost into the main. And so far Strange, he does react in time. Mine does retarget. Oh, they're retargeting. Yeah, being so annoying. Losing so much mine time here in the main. Oh my god. Shock goes off. Doesn't kill anything, but denies so much mining. Here we go. Drop back into towards the natural. And Strange should pull away. Yeah. Does pull away. Losing 1 probe. Blink is not yet done. Despite that, the medevac cannot get out. And Strange holds. Strange holds quite well. Outside of losing all that mining time, of course. Like, that was still brutal. Still brutal in the main. Outside of that, no major losses. Strange now expands. So behind this, it was 2 gate. Yep, 2 gate blink into a 3rd. Attempted economic opener. As we're still building up. Raven moves out to harass. Strange working towards charge into the Bay, into Colossus. Very robust mid-game, if you can get there. And so far, again, he's not taken too many economic losses. It's been, what, 4 probes? It's been more or less acceptable. Doing another worker here. Five probe kills so far. ByuN soon to break out. He's still waiting for his upgrades. Stim is still on the way. Combat shields as well. Nice catch on the Stalker. ByuN being proactive. I feel like ByuN should still be waiting for his upgrade, but does go past the halfway mark. Uh-oh. Spotted by the Observer. Oh, Observer gets caught. Tanks on the high ground. They do siege. Almost catching a Stalker. You can see ByuN trying to bait the army within range of the tanks. He wants the bait. Can he? Does get eyes on the tanks. Strange, he knows. Risky move here by ByuN. Does abandon his tanks, going for his drop. Does go for the double drop. Busting into the main. Strange, he's forced to react, forced to respond. ByuN does catch the Otosis pylon. Okay, depowers the warp in. Denies the warp in. Kites well against the zealots. Doesn't quite get on top of the Colossus, but trades well nonetheless. Here picks up, pulls away, both barracks to escape. At the same time, main army does move in, and there's not much to defend back at home. Back at the third, there's only 2 Stalkers. Yeah, 2 Stalkers. Tanks take siege. Doesn't waste the mine shots. Army's rallying over. Oof. Mine shot going off, catching a Stalker. And Strange cannot keep up. He's just being torn apart here. Tank volleys on the main army. Colossus is going to be going down. One more tank shot. Oof. Colossus barely pulls away. At this point, it is just too much. They're losing 32 pro kills. Insane damage. GG gets called. ByuN snowballs out of control, and ByuN takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. ByuN does take the lead. He does take the lead 2-0. 1 game away from claiming the series itself. Strange again here. This time we did see a bit of, once again, an economic opener going 2 Gapling into a 3rd base. We saw that Strange more or less survived the early game, but alas, he was not able to stop his opponent and slow him down. ByuN, he broke out across the map, pushed right through the center, caught out a couple of Stalkers, was able to siege on the high ground as well, and Strange had a hard time splitting up his army. He defended his main base okay, but again, he did overreact, setting out both Colossus. And in the end, was torn apart. And with that, we're going to be loading the Game 3. Going to be loading into Defender's Lab. I would say that, at least so far here tonight, based on what we've casted, feels like Sanctuary 3 and Defender's Lab are 2 of the more common maps from the players. Let's go. Let us go. And does that mean that we never get to see Voidstorm today? An Exarch? And Rainfall? Ah. Can we make it, Pappy? Can we make it? As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Defender's Lab, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 2-0 and 1 game away from claiming the series. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself representing Stouty Balls. Down heavily in the series. He has to fight back hero now to make a series out of this. The pressure is on. It is Strange. Go. Let's go. Yeah. So don't forget to stretch. Posture check in the chat. Posture check. As ByuN does go for a double gas opener. Welcome to Defender's Lab. Defender's Lab has a relatively solid 3 and 4 base setup here, except we did point out earlier there is this area in between the 3rd and the natural that can be abused. Specifically, this area is a little bit more accessible than we expect on seeing, with the extra wide ramp coming in from the top side, and just the area itself here we have seen abused before. We'll see if we can make, I mean, that's applicable to both players though, to both races. We'll see who's able to game map control, make use of that area, if at all. For now, double gas, faster factory. Once again, a safer start here by ByuN. We saw the same opener out of ByuN on Sanctuary as well. Refused to go for an economic start. Does go for the later CC. From here, we have seen Strange mix up his build so far. Game 1, we had the earlier Robo. Game 2, we saw the Twilight Council opener. We have seen Strange go Phoenixes against Ninkrat, if you recall. going for a sentry, hiding his tech. Yep, speaking of, there it is, Stargate opener going Phoenixes. We saw this versus Nickrak, now we're seeing it here versus ByuN. We're just seeing the trifecta. Game 1, Robo. Game 2, Twilight Council. Game 3, Stargate. I appreciate that it's something different every game, of course, but we'll see if Strange can get away with this. We mentioned this previously, but when it comes to these Stargate openers, you are vulnerable. You do leave yourself vulnerable to earlier pushes, to early game aggression. There's a reason why this did fall out of favor in modern era of StarCraft. But show us what you got. Reaper Hellion out of ByuN. Hallucination out of Strange, does dip in. Strange will confirm the 1-1-1. Confirms the timing of the starport as well. As ByuN does push in. Safety battery in the main. Does ByuN scout? He does! Yeah, ByuN, he does see the Stargate. Big scout there for ByuN. Confirms the Phoenixes. Potentially. Not sure if he noticed the unit being built. But regardless, is aware of the tech at least. Is aware of the tech. Back at home, safety cyclone. It's all about that early game splash. That was that early game anti-air. And it is going to be Phoenix into Colossus. So Robo's on the way until eventually the Bay, until eventually Colossus production. Again, very old school. When I say old school, very 2020. Been a couple of years. Technically 2021 as well. True. True. As ByuN is getting a faster third CC this game. Okay. Faster than we've seen in any other game here. My apologies. So my assumption upon seeing the Stargate opener and the faster Robo from ByuN would be aggression, but no. ByuN, he is building up an anti-air army, that is true, but ByuN going for a faster third CC here tells us that ByuN does want to meet Strange in the mid game instead, with a boosted economy, as Strange is yet to begin his own third. Would have managed in position to delay. Speaking of, Red moves in. Just see that we do have a delay on the expansion. Phoenixes are revealed. And ByuN's just turtling. Just turtling up back at home. Building up his bio. Again, the onus is on Strange to find some damage with this. Catching out SCVs, laying some of the production. Still making more Phoenixes. First Colossus on the way. Again, due to the build of choice here, Strange, you will have a very high, very fast Colossus count. The Gateway army is still going to be lacking, and I would imagine that ByuN wants to try to hit in that kind of sweet spot here, claim his third base, get up to 3 base saturation, and then push before Strange can perfect his army. But we'll see. The other option is that ByuN just turtles. He just turtles up and maxes out with Ghost the Viking, tank. See. As again, Strange is not doing enough. Strange is staying back at home waiting to receive an army, but as I mentioned, ByuN is not pushing. These Phoenixes, they need to be across the map to harass. SCVs, reinforcements, medevacs. Been very tame so far this game, for both sides. And it was Strange going for the older build. Oh, and we're rushing into the... This is great. I mean, ByuN has been very passive, that is true, up until the third base is saturated, but then ByuN can start to be active across the map. Meanwhile, Strange rushing into the fleet beacon, into a second Stargate, into mass Tempest or mass carrier production. Again, this is hyper greed out of Strange, going for another Stargate, even triple Stargate production. Again, it's one of those things where if Strange is given time, then sure, this can excel, but ByuN should not be resting on his laurels here. ByuN should be pushing, and he is. ByuN is moving out. Back at home, he'll leave his tanks. It is massing up his Vikings. Academy's on the way, just now starting. As ByuN is opening up the center. When it comes to the main fight, we already have 3 Colossus. We already have a couple of sentries. I don't see ByuN pushing into the third base yet. Not like this. Trying to catch up the army. Zoning Strange away. We have the answer here. Was it going to be Tempest or Carrier? The answer is Carrier. Okay, Carriers are amassing. Carriers have a little more pushing power. There's a bit of a faster power spike here for Carriers where they can try to move out and end the game. Tempest do outscale Carriers over time, but that's specifically in the late game. ByuN does peel a few into scouts. We have more batteries, more cannons being thrown down here. Strange just turtling up himself. ByuN claiming his 4th. But I am concerned here that if ByuN is too passive, then the Sky Toss is going to get out of hand. Can Strange get there? 3 carriers so far. Second starboard for ByuN. Viking count is very low. Our Viking count does have his ghosts, does have his EMPs. Still searching for a way in. He does go for the stim. Takes down 1 cannon and 1 shield battery. Second battery goes down. Carriers are revealed. And the army does try to stim forward. It does attempt to Colossus. Somi Swipe's going to be going up. ByuN goes to dive. He gets 1. Yeah, he gets 1, 2, or 3 Colossus. The Mass Marauder breaks through. And it looks like there are barely enough Marines here. They do barely not catch out that final carrier. But the Marauders. Yeah, Marauders, they bust into the mineral line. Probes going down, critical damage. Again, the Sky Toss might be excelling here. The Sky Toss might survive, but what about the ground army? It's gone. Ground army's cleaned up. 29 probe kills. Strange does defend, does survive, but didn't really retain much of an army. Retained the mothership, 2 Tempest, and the carrier. Now again, the goal here should be for Strange to fix it on the Sky Toss army. So he's making 3 carriers at a time. Plus the forge upgrades. Yeah, it's going to be on ByuN to have something a little bit more complex to deal with the mass carrier. Oh.
Game paused.
Hopefully everything's okay. Do get a bit of a pause. Oh. It's ping and spiking. Now, when it comes to our current economic states here, remember, Strange lost his mineral line. So, on the one hand, yes, Strange is building up his Sky Toss army. It's slowly amassing. On the other hand, can't really afford it at the moment. Meanwhile, ByuN's economy has been untouched. 3rd CC, 4th CC now, 75 SCVs. ByuN can freely mine, can freely expand. And as long as ByuN ensures that Strange cannot freely take a 3rd and 4th base, then he can take it. We'll see. But now, just waiting for the ping to settle. Just some high ping back. It's catching up in the chat. This is a rerun. If we ever have a rerun, reruns are rare. If there's ever a rerun, then it is stated in the title of the stream.
Game resumed.
Here we go. Ping is settled. Fast 3CC still pulls in TvP, I think. I mean, it's quite common. ByuN, I mean, it's quite common to see ByuN go like 3CC 3 racks. Here, again, you have the faster third base, faster economy. ByuN is on 83 SCVs. He has a booming economy in comparison, getting 2 more racks, sorry, 2 more CCs as well. And even though, again, as we were mentioning, even though Strange, he survives with some of the Sky Toss and he's building up that end game army, ByuN has an economy and ByuN will max out first. And with pure bio, he can just stim and he can win. Remember, there's no splash damage, right? Like, there's no Colossus, there's no Disruptor, there's no Storm. Without any splash damage, Man with Gun is pretty good. And Man with Gun will excel. What are these capital ships? What do they do in the face of pure marine? Nothing, pappy. EMPs are coming in. EMP connects. EMP does land. Another EMP, massive EMP here on the Phoenixes. With that, the interceptors, they just be cleaned up. They just be shut down. Another EMP on the mothership, and with that, the mothership falls. Yeah, no more cloak. ByuN stims forward, and every carrier crumbles. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will claim the series 3-0, becoming this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. GG, well played again. Hybrid Greed out of ByuN. ByuN, he went for a fast third CC here, having a boosted economy, was able to scout, confirm what was going on, and break out across the map. As we mentioned, Strange was being very greedy with his build here, going Phoenix Colossus into Sky Toss. He had very little to support his army, he had very little to work with, but if given time, if ByuN was more passive, then Strange could excel, right? But he was relying on ByuN to be more passive and more defensive here. Alas, ByuN, once he got his third base up and running, he could move out. He could move out. He could break through. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, ByuN. He will claim the series. And my condolences to Strange. I mean, I say condolences, but a shout out to Strange for making it to the finals here. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you missed it. But again, Strange, out of all players, he excelled. Remember, we were favoring Percival or Cristiano to make it through, but no, instead of Cristiano, instead of Percival, it was Strange. Like, Strange, he did not have an easy road to making it to those finals. Took down Cristiano, took down Nickrat, went all the way to the ace match. The finals might have been a little bit more one-sided, but Strange, he fought hard to get there. So big shout out to Strange for making it to the finals. GG. GG. Yeah, he's got 2 tuners in a row. True. Got 2 tuners back. The game picture quality is really poor compared to other SC2 streams. How come? Try refreshing. Again, should be 1080p, should be high quality like stream. Try refreshing. But GG, well played. Congratulations here to ByuN as it does claim the series. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the day. Again, it was a bit of a longer broadcast, a little bit longer here, a little bit fatigued towards the end, but we made it, man. We made it. Aye. We did make it. When it comes to our regulars, we did miss players like Hero, players like Classic. A lot of our regulars weren't here, but that's because they were competing in the Wardy tournament, which is still ongoing. Like, Wardy has been hosting the TLMC tournament, which is still ongoing, so that is where they did have their priorities there, of course. I'm sure we'll get them next time. Is that God damn it. Oh, it's my turn to say the line, pappy. Thank you so much for the raid, sort of. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session as we are ending the stream. God damn it. We just wrapped up the tournament, pappy. It's this sort of payback. Payback, pappy. True. God damn it. Feels bad, man. But GG well played. Sort of, he was competing earlier, and even though Sort of got knocked out a little bit earlier in the tournament, we do appreciate the diversity, because fun fact, we had 2 big Zerg players here. We had Sort of and Railgun. Railgun and Sort of, they were the only 2 big Zergs in the event, so we appreciate it. Without Sort of, without Railgun, would have been purely a Protoss and Terran like broadcast for the most part. So thank you. We need some diversity in the Tuna Cup, pappy. We need it. But otherwise, GG. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up for the time being. Again, if you want to tune in to the rest of our broadcast schedule, bam, you can see it here and now. We have a very busy week ahead of us here. Up next, we're going to be live in around 10-ish hours, time, with the TLMC 22 finalist broadcast. For those that are curious, for those that are unaware, I was one of the judges for this season's Team Liquid map contest. That's 2 seasons in a row now I've been a judge, and we already had our judging stream. That was like last week we had our judging stream, going through every single map in TLMC 22, but now we have our top 16, right? We have our top 16 maps, and in around 10 hours time we're going to be going through all of the judge feedback and all the judge notes on all of these maps. Oh boy, we'll be going through it all. So basically, the judge forms have just been made public. So we had 5 judges in total. I was one of 5. We all had our own scores, we all had our own feedback, and I'm curious to see what everyone had to say about those top 16 maps. So we'll be going over that again in 10 hours time, going over all the maps themselves, the top 16, going through all the feedback, the scorings, what we expect out of them, the pros, the cons. Hopefully we'll also be seeing some of the other perspectives from the other judges as well, and what they did think about said maps, where we agreed, where we disagreed, coming into the eventual voting phase, because voting will soon be open over the next couple of days for this season's TLMC. So just giving you as much data as possible when it comes to these maps. Likewise, that's why we've also been featuring them in our tournaments, and we'll be doing so moving forward as well, at least until the voting ends. Again, your vote matters, your vote counts. Make sure you vote once voting opens. Meanwhile, what else is this week? As you can see here, we have the Pegasus Cups. A lot of Pegasus Cup broadcasts actually. We got 4 Pegasus Cup broadcasts this week to catch up with Pegasus Cup, with all the missed broadcasts. We have the Pondcast, we have Kung Fu Cup, War TV Monday, StarCraft Evolution League, Uthermal Suitu Circuit, and we have GSL. Remember, we were the only official English casters, or the only English casters for GSL qualifiers last week, and this week we have the round of 12. The round of 12 is this week as well. We'll be featuring it Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be live earlier in the week. But we'll be doing a replay cast over the weekend. So again, GSL does begin this week. Look forward to it. RSL also begins this week as well. It's going to be an intense period of StarCraft, RSL and GSL, and everything else in between. But otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. For the time being. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to Max Moore for winning the random raffle. True. Did win the raffle. How do you vote? Will be on TL. Will be on the TL website. But again, voting isn't open yet. Not yet. Soon. Hopefully someone links the voting in Reddit when it starts. Hopefully. It could be you. You could link it in Reddit. You can link it. But otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up for the time being. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the TLMC finalist broadcast, going through all of the top 16 maps in the Team Liquid map contest. And most likely, once we go over all the maps, we'll be going over some of the other... I'm curious, like, where we differed in thoughts. I'm already looking at the judge scorings, and there were like a couple of points of deviation. I'm curious as to the thought process. That's the most curious thing for me is the rationale and the feedback provided by some of these other judges. I'm curious. But otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for the TLMC 22 broadcast and for the War TV Monday broadcast as well. See you then. Otherwise, if you want to tune into the VODs, you can do so via our socials, !socials in the chat. You can check us out over on YouTube. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. So, for example, if you missed out on the GSL qualifiers or the RSL qualifiers or Home Straight Cup, Thunderfire, our judging stream of the Team Liquid map contest, if you want to see all the maps and hear our thoughts, all that is over on YouTube. It's all on YouTube. It's all there. Kung Fu Cup, all the content, all the StarCraft. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast. So if you want some of that content, it's all on YouTube. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Also, Patreon funds our tournaments. If you want to help us grow the Tuna Cup, you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, until next time, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.